time to spill the secrets.
This is Universal Secrets with Tiffany Mack and Kevin Hale.
It's Tuesday night. You know what that means.
It's Universal Secrets.
Dysfunction and all that.
And Tiffany Mack. And it is. I keep thinking about all of these little names that Maria's coming up with, but Kevin, your 50 Shades of K is still rocking it. I really like that one the best.
There's only a handful of people that know that story, and you're one of them, and we'll leave it at that.
I know. The things that I learned from this man, it's unbelievable, people.
I can say the same thing.
No, that's true.
There's that proverbial, I won't tell your secret if you don't tell mine.
Right. You don't break the pact, people.
You don't. We pinky promise and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
It's Universal Secrets on this Tuesday night, August 10th, 2021.
Tenth? Is that a number?
Yeah.
10th?
10th, 8/10/2021. Cheers, my friend. How are you?
You know what? I'm on the sauce tonight. That's right, Mom. I'm drinking. Yeah. I'm almost 44, people, I think. Am I almost 40? Oh,
are you?
God. I think I am.
Really? I didn't realize I was 10 years older than you. Jeez.
I might be 40. I don't know. I have no idea. It's after 21, I just stopped counting. So there's probably a few extra numbers in there. But
still tell me to
night,
grow
though.
up, Dad. Grow up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all good. Tiffany, it's good to see you.
Good to see you.
Universal Secrets here. This is before we go too far, our guest is having some internet issues. We're trying to get those squared away to the point where plan Z, we went through A through Y. Z might be the last option, and we'll share that in a moment. But we are trying to live stream on our Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube channels. Well, actually, we are live streaming. And the audio is streaming live via radio shows. Ron.
Thank you.
Bobby,
Ron and Bobby. Andy.
Those guys over there. Thanks for taking care of the audio. Use auto-tune to make me sound better if you need to. Tiffany, how's your Apple experience been lately?
Oh, guys, we've got, I had drama with my daughter. She had all these burns all over her face last week when she came back home from vacation with her dad. And I was ready to bust some kneecaps, people. Everybody knows this.
You were going after the dad first.
I was. And that should be, it's a justifiable reason for that. But honestly, I think maybe she got some kind of infection from the ocean. There was a bacterial issue down there, and they said they didn't see the signs. They didn't have anything posted, and that may have been what happened. But after 1 week of some treatments, my daughter is miraculously pristine, perfect skin again. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, angels. Thank you, ET friends and family, because there's some kind of divine intervention with this recovery within a week. The doctors are just like baffled. So yeah, we've had to deal with that. And then the little sassy, I don't want to say anything rude, sassy pants decided to start charging up the count on her iPad. And suddenly I have $400 bills popping up that say Apple Pay, Apple Pay, Apple Pay. And yeah, Mama Bear was not too happy about that. But so she survived 2 events this week that were not called for. So yeah, Apple and I, the department,
You're on a first name basis with their customer
yes,
service.
the customer service department has been my best friend for the past 2 days.
It's the Tiffany.
Obviously, I need to put some restrictions into that iPad because the free bank account is not cool.
Were they games or like what were they, just paid apps or something?
Well, yeah, there's something called Roblox, which is it has like a chat program, and then you can buy all these extra. You can buy all these extra bullshit things, and I have no idea how somebody can rack up $400 worth of bills and not have a job, not be out of the 6th grade yet. But
this is how we experienced that back in the day. My man,
that
Beuchel.
is true.
We used to do that with 900 numbers. Yeah.
Amen. Yeah. And I
$3.99 per minute or something like that.
Not even that, but there was like, oh, do you remember what was it? The psychic hotline?
Oh God.
Do you
Tell me
remember
you
that?
did not call those.
I never did, but I wanted to so badly. But those charges would have been skyrocketed. That would have been $1,000 easy if I had gotten into one of those accounts. No, Mom, I never did. I know, because I'm an angel.
Angel, you are.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I think would potentially lure me into spending any money online these days is someone's OnlyFans account, but I'm not going to do that.
An
Do you know what those are?
account?
You know what those are?
No.
Tiffany, are you serious?
I am serious. What is this?
OnlyFans. It's a site that will allow you to post risque adult content, pictures, video. And here's the thing: Google that shit, because there are people who have lately lost their jobs because they're a teacher during the day. And like this one, I'll say it, she's pretty fucking hot, and has this OnlyFans account, and she makes 6 figures a year doing this because it's like a tier based subscription. Tara, I've already thought of it. So
is that what we're gonna put on there from now on? Is that how we're gonna?
You know what? I don't know. Let's keep our ideas
Kevin, keep your clothes on.
So, all right, I'm waiting for Mom to.
She already responded. She said,
she?
"Thank you for not doing that, for not calling the psychic hotline over and over and over again as a young child."
So, real quick, let's do roll call. Hands
absolutely
down. Take us through who's watching and listening.
Let me tell you who always checks in first. It's been Andy Morrow, always here. Radio, always here. Genghis, here. Greg, here. Sherry,
Marco might have been first.
Marco, here. Maria, here.
Tracy Austin, Stone Cold Tracy Austin.
Yes, Tracy. I just saw that. Tracy, here.
I just want to hear
here.
her, if she could. Can you give me a Tracy impersonation, Tiffany? I mean, you got the blonde. Just say, I can't
do it.
I can't. You can't do it?
I can't do it. No.
I can't. Okay. Oh, if you can't do it, then okay, you can't do it. So such a sweetheart. She hung out with us last week. She gave us over 2 hours, and we put her through the test of the rapid fire, which was a great sight.
It wasn't rapid though, Kevin.
No,
it was 13 minutes.
It was the 13-minute rapid fire segment. But what was funny, I went through and watched it again, and I actually posted, a separate clip.
Mm-hmm.
Your reactions were priceless. Hers, at the beginning, she thought she was on a timer, so she was kind of spazzing. I was like, I'm running out of time. And you gave give me your here. So
I could have made so many different sounds, but that's the one that came to mind. That's all I could say. Hail OnlyFans.
Charles, my man, Charles. I mean, this is so.
You know what, Kevin? I feel like that's what you want us to do. You get all your little women that you've ever interviewed and all of us together, and you just want to hear Stickles. Oh, hail Kevin. Oh, hail Kevin. You know what?
Back in the day when we first started doing these shows, I think it was on KJRA, so the whole video thing. And I want to say, Ron, correct me if I'm wrong. Ron might have been the guy that brought this to my attention, or he made a comment like, you and Tiffany have the most beautiful guests on.
We do have we've got another one tonight.
Another one. Our audience is fucking beautiful too. We got them all here. We got this, and you had Tiffany's red lips, my shady thinking, drinks, and this sparkling ice water, classic lemonade did have some vodka.
Oh God, Kevin! I thought we said that we weren't drinking anymore before the show.
No, we're not drinking anymore. The problem is we're not drinking any less either. So here
this might be a really entertaining show.
It's going to have to be, and we need fan participation tonight because this might turn into a kind of a
ask me anything.
Ask us anything. Ask me, because our guest, and I may butcher, Rebecca Geracitano, who's a certified hypnotherapist. So the topics in the
therapist. You sound
so the
like
topics tonight, present, past life regression, life between lives regression, quantum healing, all this suggestive hypnosis, and pre-show where we're connecting and her internet is not cooperating. So we've asked her to reboot her internet. The problem is, here it is on our show, unlike on KGRA, because their budget was bigger than ours. They were able to have the feature for people to call in, the guests to call in, and that connects. There's software that you have to have an add-on for StreamYard, which is what we use. And I want to say they probably were using Skype, a Skype phone.
They were.
So we don't have that. We had not. Well, I'm going to say we may have thought that far, but we just decided we're not going to go that route because it's an extra expense for us. So, one of the options tonight is that I think this is potentially a very solid show tonight. If Rebecca, and she's trying to connect, and we're going to see if we can make it happen. If she cannot do a video and it has to be an audio only, I am prepared to take one for the team, back off. She will call on your cell phone, and we'll literally have the audio of your cell phone close enough for the mic so the audience can hear. Like I said, I'm taking one. The audience can still have conversation. You do it, and I'll sit back and ask questions in our little private chat. But let's see if the podcast gods are going to cooperate with us tonight.
Okay.
Rebecca, we hear you.
Can you hear us?
A little bit better now. Talk
really?
Again. Yeah,
good.
I can hear you.
Oh.
Kevin, I can hear you actually pretty good. Can you hear me all right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's cross
the gods are willing.
It is. Did you now? Worst case scenario too, Rebecca. One, where are you in as far as location to your Wi-Fi? Is it
my router is right behind me? Right behind me. Yeah, I'm pretty close to it.
Okay.
If needed, I don't know if you have an antenna or something, put rabbit ears behind you. We'll try to figure this out. So we're gonna make tonight happen regardless, whether it's by video or if you have to call Tiffany's phone. And
we'll make it work.
We'll make it work.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah, just let me know if it gets to the point. I've got my phone charging up over here, and so if I need to.
Well, definitely can hear. The video probably could be better, but
fine. We're not going to complain.
We're not complaining.
So
we are complainers, but we're not complaining. Go ahead, Tiff. Go.
So first, I want to show everyone, since everybody talks about Kevin's really sexy candle game, I want to tell you what I have, people. I have a UFO.
Oh, that's so cool.
I have a UFO.
Look at that.
And it has like this laser beam that shoots up the little cows or whatever's down here on Earth.
Humans.
Yeah. I love this. Do you know who this is from? Everybody knows him. Tom Jensen makes the best UFOs that you've ever seen. So check his site out. I'm not sure if he's making any more right now, but he has made some awesome ones. I got that at the 2016 UFO conference in the Ozarks with KGRA, and I love it. It's my best gift. Of course, this is my second best gift. Rebecca, what do you think about this guy?
That's so cool.
Isn't he cute?
What's it made out of? Is it stuff?
It's wood.
It's wood.
Yeah, it's a wood carving. Look how cute he is.
Now, hit that again, Tiffany. Hit that again. I want to hit it down. Yeah.
Knock, knock.
Knock on. Now, humor me. Knock on your forehead.
You're a ding dong.
Okay. Everybody froze up a little bit.
Okay. Can you hear us now?
Do you have, I got to ask, and Bobby, thanks for reminding me. Do you have a Ethernet? If needed, could you hook up your modem or router to your laptop?
I know what you're talking about, a cable. I don't have one, and that would have been a really good idea. I think this was.
I'm full of good ideas. It just sometimes they're a little too late.
Yeah.
And we could order one on Amazon, but that'd still be 2 days out, right?
Yeah, I think we'd be a little.
All right. We're going to keep doing this. Again, worst case scenario, Rebecca, because we're not going to let you totally off the hook tonight. If we need to, you're going to have to call Tiffany's phone, and we're going to do a phone conversation.
That's
It's not really fine because it would remove me out of the equation. But I would do it for the show, for the sake of the show.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Tiffany,
can you all hear me okay?
For now, yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my
More
God.
importantly, can you hear Tiffany?
If I can hear you pretty well. Tiffany, I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Tiffany, give us the quick
lowdown.
Oh
gosh, hold on.
Because let's go back. Let's go back in history a little bit. Last year when we did Contact at the Compound in September, that's when I first met Rebecca. Met her in person.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we did. There's a good interview. She was part of the live stream we did, part of the whole campfire thing.
Mm-hmm.
And,
yeah.
So it was, Rebecca, it's good to see you again. We haven't seen each other probably since. I don't think
probably
so.
not.
Anyway,
No.
probably not. But the plan is to hang out in October, right?
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say you did get that memo. All right, just
yes, I did. Yeah.
Tiffany,
Rebecca, when you were last on, it was Contact at the Compound last year.
Yes.
And during your interview part, that's when we heard the Bigfoot howls. And your husband was out at the campfire when that happened. Do you remember?
That's right. That's right.
So he was one of the first ones that told me that there was something really, it was sounded big, sounded fairly close to them, correct?
I believe so. I believe you're right, as I recall. Mm-hmm.
And so the fire is a good, how far do you think it is? 100 yards away from the house?
100? No, not 100.
Maybe 50
yards.
Maybe
50
50
yards?
yards.
I'd
50
say
yards?
50.
Okay.
50, yeah.
It always seems like such a long way because I'm just looking at it from a distance in the window. But yeah, so they were out. Okay, 50 yards, we'll say at the minimum, 50 yards at the minimum away from the house. And Rebecca's husband said that it sounded fairly close and he could identify which direction it came from. And the funny thing is, there weren't any houses back there.
No.
So at 9 o'clock or 9:30 at night, out behind our home where we have 50 acres, it sounded like somebody in an area that was not inhabited made this call back.
Something.
Yeah.
Something.
And I don't think that there was no Bigfoot call before then. That was like a Bigfoot
No.
call.
And here's my follow up to that. And I'll have to probably search the video just to play that audio again.
Mhm.
The one thing that, in my mind, to rule out potential human, interaction or someone trying to prank us from a human perspective,
Mhm.
us humans, we're never satisfied with. I know if I let out a howl like that, I don't think I would be like, oh, can I do better? Let me try it again. We just heard
Exactly.
one howl, which you and I were like, WTF.
It was a
And
huge howl. It
we
was
didn't hear
not a
anything else.
coyote. Yeah.
Didn't hear anything else. We didn't hear Joe Bob trying to outdo Larry, Daryl and Daryl, to hold my beer. Let me
Isn't that
try
right,
it.
Rebecca, though? That's right. There was only one.
Oh,
And the funny thing was, nobody really knew that we were having any kind of event. I mean, it could have just been us sitting at the fire talking,
Right.
and we weren't loud.
well,
So
we're
that's
at a
what
compound, so
it doesn't. I mean, nobody's going to be coming onto our property that we can safely say would get away.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so you have this one Bigfoot howl. What the heck was that for? If it would, where did it come? So that's a really exciting part of that night. It was
hear me
interesting.
roar is
Yeah.
what I got it.
Yeah.
I'm here.
Yeah.
They knew we were there,
Yeah.
here or there, whatever.
Yeah. And you know what? We don't typically stay out that late and have big fires. We are typically inside fairly early. So maybe they were just moving through the woods and wanted us gone. I don't know. It was just strange. And so start this off. I will tell you that Rebecca has said that she will be part of Contact at the Compound this year, as long as everything's okay, everybody's well. She's going to come out with her adorable husband and be one of our guest speakers. So we're going to have a good time at that.
Yeah, that'd be great. It's gonna be fun.
So Rebecca, tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, I have your bio here, and it's very, very good bio, but I feel like maybe you would be able to tell us a little bit better about who you are, where you come from, and what your goal is.
And for the record, Rebecca, with all of your accolades, your certifications, please tell us we're not paying by the hour for this show.
That's the big one.
Nah.
All right, here's my credit card.
Here, we'll get a bill later. You might as well add it to my Apple account.
Nah, sure not. Nah, this is fun. Gosh, I don't know where to start. Where should I start? Like, why?
What puts
do what I do?
What puts you on the path to being involved with quantum healing, hypnosis, hypnotherapy, your interests in the spiritual realm, and why you went that path? Why this is your passion?
It's my passion. It's a question that has been with me since I was a small child. I had a first past life experience when I was 7 years old, and it was so vivid and clear. And I knew as a child I'd lived before. You know, when you're a child, things just come to you, and they're real. You know, That's the truth.
Mhm.
And so as I got older, everything beyond that, I questioned everything. I compared to, okay, well, that doesn't sound true. You know, where does the me go? I always questioned that when I was a young child. Where does me go? Like I knew there was something beyond us that
Like the
we just,
physical body?
yeah, I mean, we just, it seemed unrealistic to live one life and get everything done right, to get it all done, have all the experiences you could ever have. It didn't make any sense to me, and it never did. So I was always asking questions. I was always having I would have spiritual experiences, so to speak. I would have, I would sense things around me in my room. I had a lot of different experiences. I couldn't even, to think of one. I could tell you several, but as I got older, that realm, the spiritual realm, that always seemed like there was something there that that was there to understand more of. And I read a lot of books on Brian Weiss and astrology, all of those things. I delved into them. Dreams were very amazing to me. And so that just kind of put me on that path towards always wanted to understand how, the regression that Brian Weiss did. I thought, that is something I would like to help people with, because I believe our answers come from within us. And I wanted to help people to find those answers. And often when we do past life work, those answers can be found. Now, in the realm of, like with the quantum healing hypnosis regression, that's often an avenue for people who feel like they are, maybe they call themselves star seeds, or if they're from another planet, they remember an incarnation very vividly from another place that they're from. I've done regressions with people who have had, ET experiences in various ways and forms. And then, it's taught me that everyone's on a path, whether it's spiritual, whether it's, ET related, if it's, and so that we're such a diverse, in humanity, we're so diverse. And I really respect that. And I feel like I really had a big opportunity to meet a lot of different kinds of people on a lot of different kinds of journeys.
We're definitely kinds of people here, different kinds of people.
Yeah.
Tiffany, has she did regression with you? Can I ask?
Okay. So
Let her answer that.
All right.
part of Rebecca's connection was, I've talked about my experience with my first UFO sighting, the one in Destin, where I saw it come straight down and it went into the water. And that was my first real solid clue that something else was going on, that there was something beyond my normal knowledge of the world. And so I did connect with MUFON online. Well, the state director, is that what Bob
Yeah,
Patton was?
Bob was he was I think he was the state director.
I think he was the state director
Yeah.
of MUFON. He called me and said, I would love to meet with you. So I met with
Florida or
them
Kentucky?
in Kentucky. This was in Kentucky because I was living in Kentucky at the time and just had gone down there. Bob Patton, who was a very erratic but lovely man, full of energy and life, he was the person who contacted me after my sighting. And in the same building as Bob was Rebecca Geracitano, and she was also connected with MUFON, and she was doing her regressions and helping out with the local group of people who were connected through MUFON and asked to go for regressions or therapies. So Rebecca, during that time, was my first contact in the world of therapy based on hypnosis, and I was very hesitant to do something like this. I didn't know if they were going to be mixing around and rattling my brain and scrambling it. You just don't know sometimes when you're not in that field. And I had never been in a state of therapy, so I didn't know. It was a very difficult decision for me, thinking that maybe somebody might find out something that I didn't want them to find out and I didn't really want to know. And I thought that having a woman, and she was so kind and so calm and just charming and loving. And that's what I felt. And I was like, oh yeah, we're going to do this.
There's a lot of adjectives there for Rebecca.
and she is such a lover and such a sweet lady. She just exudes love. And I was like, that's it. That's my decision. I will work with her too. And, you know,
do HIPAA
Rebecca,
laws protect you from ET experiences? I don't know.
Probably not, but unless I went to a psychiatrist, then they would apply. Yeah.
There you go.
But tell us, Rebecca, how did you get involved with that aspect of this world?
You mean with, oh yeah. So, you know, I feel like I'm
sorry. Start with your background. Start with your degrees and what you did, and then how that led you to MUFON.
Okay, so yeah, I started back in probably 2005 when I decided to take the my first past life and hypnosis certification. And you know, through the years, I would, you know, before I started my business, I practiced with family and friends, and I did a lot of spiritual work. I did a lot of self-guided experiences with myself as well. A lot of work with that. Did a master's in transpersonal studies from the Atlantic University, which is Edgar Cayce, you know, Edgar Cayce's ARE. And I did, so I have a master's in transpersonal studies with spiritual mentoring and dream work being the umbrella of that. And so from there, I did my certifications. I did the advanced past life regression and life between lives regression. That's more of a spiritual regression, the very long one, where we can go into the spiritual realm and meet our guides, our counsel, our spirit, our soul groups. And then I went on to take the Dolores Cannon's quantum healing regression technique. And that's very open process. And through her work, there's been a lot of case studies of people having, you know, connections with ETs. But even before then, I've always watched the skies, even as a young child. And I just felt a connection that, you know, there was more to us than just us. And that it was, you know, the universe is so huge. I mean, how can that be that there's just us? And I never had per se an ET experience, but I would have dreams that pointed to certain things that it's hard to kind of put into words. But once I met Bob, once I met like Suzanne and yourself and worked with you and other people, I started realizing that maybe my pathway was to help those who have those experiences and allow them a safe place to talk to me, because I've had others even recently. Some have come in, they are terrified of talking to people and what they'll think of them. And so I do discuss everything, what'll happen, what it'll be like. And I go over everything with all my clients in whatever type of session I do. But I always felt, you know, within the CE5 group that, you know, being involved in that, I felt such a connection, you know, in the meditations with our galactic, you know, star family. Like I felt always a confirmation that they were there, they were listening to us, and that we, you know, we want to have communication with them. disclosure.
So, for those who are not familiar with CE5, welcome to UFO world. So CE5 stands for it's the Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind, which is human initiated contact. So there's been a lot of people involved in this community, and people have come and gone, but the purpose is to have a very calm, peaceful, productive conversation, like reaching out to the universe and trying to connect with other people with similar hearts and minds, and making this connection with all of the entities that may be around us that we are not seeing clearly. And it's a first step to joining, the universe, joining different civilizations and beings that are out there around us. We are not alone. We know this. So this is sort of a process that we've communicated in our group. We have 6 women, I believe, or 7, 6 or 7
group.
are in a local group. And we, with Rebecca, who has been our guiding light, and then we have a historian, and then we have a Wiccan, and we have a shaman, and we have another experiencer, and then these women in this group that we have in Louisville, which is where Rebecca is stationed out of. We love our group. It's amazing. We don't get to see each other enough these days. Obviously, COVID has affected a lot of communication and group settings. But yeah, so when Rebecca and I started talking, what did you feel that, we knew that this was going to be sort of an ET conversation, but this is how I would assume you'd go into any setting. How would you first evaluate whether someone is a potential candidate for hypnotherapy or a regression?
Most often I discuss with it over the phone. Now, sometimes people email me, and if they'd say, I've been meditating for a long time. Perhaps there's other things, indicators that they honor the subconscious mind. Once I know a person really honors and trusts the subconscious mind, then I know pretty well that they'll do fine. Now, a lot of people who, may not be doing meditation, that's not always a requirement. But if they have a really good feel and trust that what they're experiencing is something that, that they don't fear. A fear can cause a resistance with regression. So especially with those who may have had ET experiences, a good phone discussion is really helpful. I had a gentleman that came in, and he was very afraid, but he did very well. He went right into some experiences he had. But he said it taught him that it was okay. He was still okay. He was just re-experiencing some things from his past, because he wanted to understand if they were in fact real. And through the regression, he felt they were in fact very real for him. So, it's hard to say. It's more usually a phone conversation and just getting to know them a little, and, what their intention is, what their experiences have been, and helping them understand that we all go into subconscious mind kind of all the time. We're always doing, every one of us go into trance states. It's just there's different levels. So we have, levels of beta state we go in. To me, it's according to our brain waves. So when we go into the subconscious mind, the brain waves slow down a bit. And the deeper that we go, once, there's just various levels. And so I help people go into those deeper levels where they can, pretty much let go of the outer chitter chatter of the outer mind. And some people go deeper than others, but it doesn't even really matter. The whole idea is that they find information and, can understand it, perceive it in a different way. But yeah, I discuss all of that with them. Initially finding if they are a good, candidate for it. And then further, once we come in, I still discuss and go over things with them so that they understand completely. Because sometimes there's some misunderstandings about regression that's maybe not very clear out there that people, have misconceptions about. So I go over everything with them when we meet.
One of the first things that you told me, I was a little bit scared because, I had this misconception that all hypnotherapists are sort of guiding you to the certain answer that they wanted. Correct.
Right?
And so what I remember you saying was, I want you to write a list of 10 statements or comments or questions that you may have. And then we will investigate those and see where they lead. Do you remember saying that?
I don't.
You did.
Oh.
And
Well,
I think it was because
Rebecca through regression right now.
I think it was because I was so
I think
fearful.
so. And that could be unique for you that I did, came up with that solution. And now that you say that, I think so. I can kind of vaguely remember.
Yes.
Yeah, I think so now. It's hard, I've done thousands of people.
Yes, exactly. And the first session that we had was 4 hours long. I don't know how in the hell she sat there through that. But it had to do with the questioning and, the pace that she took was very calming. And I did listen to the regression afterwards and I was sort of blown away. We have a question from Ron.
We have lots of questions, but
yes.
Time out, Tiffany.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Let's, digressing a little bit here, Rebecca, bear with us. Last week we introduced this rapid fire segment, which we're going to do at the end of the show. So Rebecca, fair warning, I'm going to throw some rapid fire questions at you that are non-show topic related. Play along. It'll be fun. I promise. It's not an interrogation or anything.
Okay.
I mean, you can get a flashlight and shine the light in your face to add to it. But here, what we wanted to do as well, Tiffany, your idea, and I'm all for it. Our audience, our family, our friends and, friends are hanging out with us. So, Tiffany, you're going to, towards the end of the show, throw some questions at the audience, our friends. And everyone's going to comment
pertaining to this show.
Yeah. It's more show topic specific, where my stuff will be non-show specific. So a little later in the show, we're going to throw some of the questions out there so the audience can see it and then kind of come up
respond.
When at the right time, we're going to have them respond.
Yes.
So someone like Genghis Khan, she's asked, or he, I'm sorry, asking questions that kind of already part of that other. So stop asking questions right now. Well, at least that. Yeah, continue.
Okay. So I do have a question from Earth Radio, which is Ron. Let's see what it says. For regression therapy, what is the objective of the process?
So the objective is what you want to solve with regression therapy. Now, I distinguish between current life regression therapy, past life regression therapy. Some people call it both. So the intention, your intention is what we is the goal. You're wanting to understand patterns or situations that reoccur in your life that you can't solve, and often that's what we do regression for, is to understand patterns and things that um, you just can't solve on your own. You've gotten to a point where you're just trying to understand yourself better.
So I understand the idea of a past life, and I understand the idea that you're talking about what's going on in your current life.
Mm-hmm.
Is there any way to find out what's going to be in your future life?
I haven't done a progression before. Often I think now.
So you can't provide me 6 numbers that are very important for this coming weekend.
I wish I could. Now I've had dreams, and I'm like, wait a minute. I have gotten 6 digits in my dreams, and I, try to remember. But anyway, no. Now I will back up and say I did a regression with a lady earlier this year, and she actually did go into what seemed like a futuristic type of thing for her, and it brought her great comfort. So that is one indication. So again, it's up to the person's subconscious mind. They're the ones. I'm just a facilitator. I'm the guy getting them there. They're the ones that, with their intention, just like for her, we did 2 things where she went back in this life. And then as she came forward, she ended up going into the future. So for the most part, the future is something that, we can get into a big, long discussion about what we create, with our actions now. What type of future we create is dependent upon what we're doing, the choices we make now. So sometimes the future is hard to predict in that way. But yeah, and if we look at past life energies or current life energies, if we think, I call everything energy. Spirit is energy, God is energy, everything are emotions. And so we're following the energy, basically, is what we're doing. So if you still have energy patterns that keep getting repeating, so it could be anything, then your subconscious is following the energy to where it needs to go to help you understand what it is you're trying to understand. And it may not just be things you're trying to heal. It could be something you're trying to celebrate. Often I have people who want to understand their gifts and talents. What should they be doing? What should they do in the time in their life? What's their next steps? Things like that.
What's the rhyme and reason that we suppress things? Well, all right. That's
fear.
The question. But let me fear. Okay. Oh, that's a great response. Let me share this story real quick.
Okay.
Over the weekend, it's when I'll say it. We had a different guest lined up for tonight. They couldn't do it, and thank you so much for, on a whim.
You're very welcome.
Taking care of.
I happen to have my Tuesday free.
It was perfect timing.
Yeah. Timing is everything. Yeah. So over this weekend, Tiff, I was my oldest Kelsey was over at my place, and we're just talking, and there's some story, something we were talking about prompted her to say, like that time, Dad, when back in 2007. It was shortly after my divorce, and me and the kids were driving on 65 and going probably in the vicinity of Cox's Creek, somewhere along there. But there was, as she was telling me, Kelsey was telling me that there was we witnessed this accident on 65 where a SUV rolled over, and is seeing this.
Wow.
Evidently, and I'll get to that, I stopped, pulled over, was one of a couple people that got out of their car, and this is going to sound like some drama thing, got to their car, which was smoking heavily, helped get these people out.
Wow.
And, I was deemed like, well, here's the fucking funny part is that when, she's like, yeah, Dad, like that time you did this and all this stuff. And I'm like, what? I literally had no recollection of that. To me, that would have been, I don't know. I don't think that's suppressing, but help me understand the difference. That's probably my old age, right? I'm just forgetting. So, but to me, something like that, how the hell could I forget a moment like that? Because pat me on the, I'm not patting myself on the back, but someone can argue you, as Kelsey did, Dad, you helped them get out of the car. You kind of rescued
saved their life.
Yeah. So
wow.
But I had no idea. I did not remember that. So
unpack that, Rebecca.
Yeah.
The way I would answer that is that, again, maybe not in the inner mind, but I believe we have a higher self, a higher wisdom that is always within us and around us and guiding us. And with that said, when we do something like that, Kevin, you were acting upon I think that higher self, that wisdom knew what to do. And I think we go into an altered state. Again, we go into altered states all the time. And you were probably in a kind of altered state that was like, it wasn't thinking about anything. You were just doing the right thing.
Right. Well, here's the other thing too, in that time, 2007, and probably if I sat on your recliner and you took me back in time, I probably, as I told Kelsey this too, I probably have forgotten a lot of shit in 2007 because that was a year of my divorce.
Right.
Yeah.
Very amicable divorce. Me and my ex, we parted. We just drifted apart. We get along so fine now, and it's been all about the kids then. But the hard part for me when it came to the divorce was the separation from my kids. And and I told Kelsey, I'm like, there's probably a lot of other shit that happened in 2007 that I have forgotten because that year was kind of traumatic for me.
Right.
So there's a big deal with trauma, and you can attest to the fact that there are ways to deal with trauma through hypnosis, aren't there?
It cut out just when you just asked me something. It cut out.
Are there benefits to hypnosis for trauma?
Yes, and that's what commonly is referred to as regression therapy, and that's what I do. Current life work. I distinguish because again, I do so much. I do past life, so trauma can be accessed through hypnosis regression. Depending how far down it's buried, and if a person, if they're really ready to access it, again, going into an altered state can allow you to do that. But again, if there's any fear, if there's anything a person is afraid of, they may resist and not go deep enough. So I always tell people it's good to be ready. And I've had clients, they, made an appointment and they'll say, Rebecca, I just don't know if I'm ready. I had a lady this spring and she had something big coming up this summer. And she finally got back to me and says, yep, I want to reschedule for, so now she's ready. And that's the biggest thing because, trauma, often what happens with people, they disassociate themselves. And that's why they don't remember. Sometimes they don't remember trauma. And, this association is there to help the person deal with it. We may not go back into that one memory. We may go above it so they can still be a little disassociated from it, or they may go to a time afterwards. It really is the person, where they need to go and what they're ready for. But yeah, it can be.
Our guest tonight, Rebecca Geracitano. I'm saying that right. I think I've got it.
Geracitano.
All right.
Okay.
Present, past life regression, life between lives, regression, quantum healing topic tonight. Tiffany, I'm not going to show. Actually, I'd have to go back and find it, but Greg O'Brien put a good question out. Let me see here. Oh, I found it.
Yeah, I saw
Let's
that.
play a game. What would be CE6? What would CE6 be?
Probably human alien physical relations.
I was gonna say, you know, maybe
You mean like high-fiving or fist bumping? What are we talking about here?
Probably a little bit more hanky panky than that.
There's
Or
the,
maybe
there's the 50
another-
Shades of Gray.
another
There's
The alien, right?
another CE6 definition could be that we actually make contact and they stand and we telepathically communicate with one another. You know,
Ooh.
so that could be.
I think I like the sex part, and I think that would be the most reasonable.
Yeah.
Men and women can't even comprehend each other. What's it matter?
Yeah.
There's a lot of times when we can't communicate just human to human. I think it would be the CE6 would be the open hybridization of humans and aliens. No?
Rebecca's just, I can't tell if her head's rocking.
I don't
or
know.
Her recliner's rocking.
My recliner's rocking.
There you go.
I mean,
if it's
you know,
rocking, don't come
I'm
out.
one of those people. I'm very methodical. So to me, there's layers of systems. And so maybe it could jump, CE6 could jump to that level. Maybe not. I don't know.
Sherry. Men and women communicating.
Men and women communicating.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I don't think. Oh, is that? I don't think. CE6.
CE. Oh, yeah. Greg
see?
and yeah, we just CE said. Oh, okay. Man, you know
See,
what?
I told
Let's
you.
freaking trademark that right now.
Quick, jump on it. Where's that website?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Okay, back to basics and back to the topic. Back to basics. Genghis wants to know, question, do all people have a past life? Have all people had a past life?
Well, I think it says do all people. Well, you know, I've had regressions with who, and I'm thinking of one in particular, and I know I've had a few others who don't feel like they've had a past life here on Earth. That's not to say they didn't have a past life on another planet. And that's what they've come to find out, that this is maybe their first life, or maybe they've only been here a few times, but their main their memories are from another planet. So it's varied. It's very varied. You know, I had a man who understood he had an imprint, and that's something he did not know about.
What is an imprint?
So if you read Dolores Cannon's work, an imprint is something for someone who, before incarnating, and possibly through dream states, they could be having downloads, or they could be learning in another realm, so to speak. But an imprint is almost what it sounds like. You're imprinted with memories or scenes from the earth to get the person acclimated coming into this earth plane. If they've never
part of the education system.
Yeah, kind of the education. Yeah.
Interesting.
So that because someone coming newly from another incarnation from another planet and they've never been in the earth plane, it could be very traumatic, because this is a very difficult plane to be on. The earth plane is. And so that, I hope that's a good answer. I hope that makes sense, but it always made sense to me from, you know, and the one person I'm even thinking about, he had no idea what an imprint was. And what he was describing in his regression, I thought, oh, seems to me you're being shown how to acclimate into the earth plane. And he didn't know what that was. And then I told him about Dolores Cannon's work, where she describes that through some of the cases that she had.
Are dreams the same thing, though, as far as dreams suppression? I mean, are I think we've all had a dream that we've gone back in time or seen something, or
Uh-huh.
my take with dreams, long story short, is they're answers to questions we haven't asked yet, or we don't know how to ask.
I
So,
like that.
so are dreams, I mean, in a form of, some type of, hypnotic regression, if you will, or
Well, think about this. When we go through the sleeps, when we go to sleep, we move through the alpha and theta and delta. We move through those cycles all night long, and we always end up, when we come back up, we're always in the subconscious, and then we move back down before we wake up. So we've spent a lot of time in the subconscious, and that's where we dream. And when we go, so it's again in that same area of the subconscious, when we are at a deeper level where the conscious mind is totally out of the way, we can have all kinds of different dreams. We can have past life dreams. We can have dreams that tell us something's going on with our body. We could have dreams about, we'd have telepathic dreams that we're going to see somebody soon. I've often done that. I've had visitation dreams. I've had dreams of I had a visitation dream with Bob in it, Tiffany.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep, I remember.
It was very real. And when I'm in those dreams, I have no recollection. They're actually passed on, because Bob passed away about 6 years ago now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
who are we talking about? Who
Bob Patton, the guy that connected us.
Gotcha. Yeah. So dreams can be, I've had past life dreams that feel like they have a quality of a past life. So dreams, again, think about everything's energy. I think that's the easiest way. Everything is energy. Energy triggers. Carl Jung talked about dreams being energy triggers. So say we have a dream about our childhood home. There's probably something in our inner life that triggers that. So dreams can be from the day. It can be solving problems, like you said, Kevin. That's one cat. And so there's so many different layers and kinds of dreams have, but absolutely they can be a kind of regress state where we go back into old memories, whether from this life or maybe even possibly another life. Yeah.
how far do we go back? Let me rephrase the question. Depending on who you talk to, some people think, based on science, the Earth is 4 billion years old or something like that. You got people who think that. There's some people who think the Earth is only 10,000 years old. Regardless,
there's some people who believe that 6,000 years ago is when humanity started.
Exactly.
And the Earth was flat.
And
the Earth was flat. Yeah.
There's a lot of different things. I'm not going to say yay or nay. I'm not a god, but
as they hold a globe in their hand, they proclaim the Earth is flat. But yeah, I get it. But
yeah, what you're saying is, like, some people think that there's only been people around for 6,000 years, and the Earth was okay. So we're on the same path.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So Rebecca, how far back do we go? I mean, how far back is where I'm going with this too? Is
or the soul?
Oh,
there you go. That's a good.
Shit.
Now I believe. I have had people go back into caveman days where they were a cave type dweller.
So over 6,000 years old.
I don't know the time period.
It's over 6,000 years.
Hey, Kevin, there are still people living in the caves of Malta in Greece.
There's
just saying, I've seen
tribes that are still, to your point. I
know. Right. Okay, sorry.
Fair.
I got to call you out, skeptic. Sorry, Rebecca.
No problem.
Now I'm thinking, what was the question I was asking?
Oh,
yeah. So you say, okay, the soul is definitely is more that I need to think about, because the soul is really the
essence.
Yeah.
Okay. So again,
How
our
far back?
soul
Yeah.
energy. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know. There's different theories that all souls were, born at once from the great source. I don't know. There's different theories.
Have you ever had a client who has felt that they were beyond a time where sounds reasonable, I guess is what you're saying? You're saying
You're bringing it home
caveman
for me,
and
Tiffany, because that's
okay.
kind of where I was trying to go. But
Okay.
yeah, go ahead.
You mean even beyond any time on Earth, or just
Right.
beyond? And that's, there are people, that go into the spiritual realm and feel like, that they are just in their essence. That's what they are, that they do have those experiences. I can't say that they're going back to the very first, when their essence came into being.
It would be cool, Rebecca, if you said, yeah, someone I talked to was right there when they pushed the button for the Big Bang.
Button.
Exactly.
The Big Bang button.
The Big Bang button.
There we go. Another key word there.
Yeah.
I guess I'm wondering if our soul has a sense of time. I wonder if that's possible.
Well, and from what we hear, we talk about time.
Mhm.
Time is something that it's created in our minds. Of course, we need it on the earth plane so we can be on time for our show tonight or tomorrow or whenever. But time is something that I think the human mind has to adapt to. When we're children, we don't know about time. We don't understand time, and time is not even relevant to us until we have to be on time to go somewhere. So, time, once we're out of the body, we we don't understand time in the spiritual realm. I don't think. I really don't.
Mhm.
I don't know if that answers your question, but
It's maybe time is only valuable or important when you're in a physical form.
yeah. I think
That's
Edgar
fair.
Cayce said it was time is patience and love. And I always wondered. I thought about that.
Patience
And
and
if you
love.
think patience,
Mhm.
That's getting heavy.
yeah.
Mhm.
Have you ever did it without, you don't have to get into specifics, but have you ever did a regression where this person, a very dark, evil, criminal, crazy side or experience you gathered where, man, I better freaking call 911. Rest is, because did you talk to someone who might have been Jack the Ripper in the past? That kind of
In a past
crazy.
life?
Yeah, to that, along
Yeah.
those lines.
No. I've had people who have had some very traumatic ways of dying.
Mhm.
Very traumatic, it's very emotional, very
That they
so
had no idea of. You
right.
shared, okay,
Right.
or they acknowledge, or they
No,
told, right,
they're actually
right,
experiencing it. It's as if
gotcha.
they are there experiencing it. So
Mm,
I'm there, helping them move through it,
right.
having them dissociate.
Mm-hmm.
What I have had is people who are connected to what they believe, like Satan or evil entities. And so I've had to do what we call, I call it mirroring, where they can understand what that entity is, and they can have it disconnected from them. But I've had a couple times where they wanted it, and I finally said, well, I don't guess I can help you then. I mean, if you don't want to disconnect from it and you're inviting this into your realm, you
Yeah.
know, so
Does evil
scary.
always stay evil? Continue to be evil? I
I
mean,
don't, I don't know that.
or good, right, versus one extreme to the other, but
It could choose to change.
Mm.
But some people get comfortable, and I'm thinking more in line with attachments. I've worked with people who have entity attachments that are not quite good. And a lot of times we look at evil and it's our perception. Sometimes entities are confused. They don't know they're dead. They had a big attachment or addiction, and so of the earth plane, and their vibration is so low that they can't move to higher levels, and so their attachment to the earth plane makes them want to attach to an actual human. And so sometimes people do have entity attachments, but often they think they are crazy. I mean, they have issues
The
with
conscious person does.
subpersonalities. Yeah.
The conscious person has
Mhm.
subpersonalities because okay.
Yeah, that can happen, and it can come in the form of what people think may be, disorders, mental disorders, but they have found in regression that people have had attachments.
Now,
And
would that be considered a like a
multiple
possession?
it can be.
Could that
Uh,
represent or
it can
present
be,
itself as a
yes.
possession?
Yes. And we can actually have possessions of people, even energy attachments to people we've known. Even people have passed on that
You may have been
our
close
mother.
to.
Yeah. It could be a relative, a person. And so I have a process where, I take the person, I just have a certain process. I'm not going to go in detail about it, but
Mhm.
um, yeah, I don't advertise it. A person has to talk to me first about it and
Yeah.
determine what's going on. Yeah.
Sounds like you would get a lot of different types of people to come do a therapy session with you. Um, I have a question from Sherry Trimble. She says, how many past lives could we have? Only one or multiple?
Again, it could be that both of those. As I was saying earlier, I had someone who, to them, it was their first time on, and so, they understood that. And then I've had people who've had tens, hundreds. And according to Edgar Casey, when we're finished with this earth plane, we have other planes to visit and incarnate on. I can't wrap my head around that because I just want to think about this one for now.
Yeah, is that your way of saying what, heaven and hell, or what are we talking about here?
No, no, that there's just various planes of existence, that we aren't just the only Earth. Earth is not the
I got you.
only
Okay.
planet
All right.
that
Yeah.
we can incarnate on. So yes, to answer her question, that both of those are possible, one or many possibility.
Now, you said that we can maybe incarnate on a different planet.
Yeah.
Does that mean that our soul or our essence travels anywhere it wants to go?
Apparently so. Yes, like she's
Yeah.
saying, other dimensions. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. I don't know. There's quite a bit of information that I gathered from our session, and our session was, I want to say 2015.
It's been a while. Yeah.
I believe it was 2015. But what I gathered from our regressive therapy, I found out that I was, in fact, my name was Angelique. And I've talked about this on another show that we did with
Carla
Carla and David.
Mm.
And they were talking about past lives and that they traveled together throughout the years and their souls were intertwined and they came and met each other over and over again and had past lives together. They were sort of like this family connection.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that often where souls are intertwined?
Sure, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, and many times that's what people understand when I'm doing past life regression is relationships that they've been with people before and they're working out, karmic residues with those people. And, when I do my life between lives, that's the biggest thing about that is that, that's set up so we can go into the spiritual realm and meet your soul group. So we do incarnate in groups. Sometimes we have affiliate groups, like people we may work with and have careers with, but we have our main soul group. So often when people incarnate together, they could be partners, they could be brother and sister, they could be best friends. So yeah, that's all possible. Yeah.
The thing that I learned was I had always sort of wondered why I had this desire to go over and spend time in the Mediterranean. Ever since I was a little child, I wanted to go to Italy. From the age of like 5 on, I didn't even know what Italy was, but I knew I wanted to be there. And, when it came down to it, I was offered an opportunity to go to Greece. And I was like, that's pretty close. And so I went. And after that, I came back and started having these situations and thought, my God, my brain is going to just pop. It's going to explode one day if I don't figure out what the heck is going on. My life is turned upside down. I don't know what it is. So Rebecca is one of the main, she is a treasure, first of all, to have as a friend. But she was able to help me unload some of the historical aspect to my soul and a past life that I may have lived. And I say may because I'm still so shocked that this can actually be true.
Yeah.
But what she did was she brought me back to this spot, and I see this spot every single day. Any day that I think, oh yeah, I remember that. And it was amazing because I saw my house and it was a shack and I knew it was my home. It was pretty much just this little 2-bedroom outbuilding that came off of a cliffside, and to the left of it was where we had our goats and our rabbits, and I loved that. And then I saw myself through the ages as a child. My father kept calling me Angelina, and when I got older, they called me Angela. But in Greece, my name would have been Angeliki. So this makes me think that maybe it wasn't Greece. Maybe it was Italy where I would have been. And so it's sort of amazing that, as it turns out, I found out that my dad's actually, his lineage is Italian, and the name would have been Vinsanto at the time. So, and maybe it would have been Angelina and then Angela. So it all sort of took a long time to process. But when you see that place and you know that that's your home, and you can see every wood bar that is holding up the structure where the goats were, and then see the stones in the house and see where you were laid out when you died in your main space. I saw this. And it's amazing to see from how I was before the therapy And before her speaking to me softly and asking the questions that I had written down, and then helping to, make the transitions to the next stage so easy. It's amazing to see that there are really heartfelt therapists out there that are willing to work through something that a psychiatrist would say, sorry about your luck, you're a little whack, here, take some drugs.
I hate to laugh, but that's very true.
It's very true, isn't it?
And Tiffany, thank you for, reminding me about your session. It's interesting how I'll remember aspects of people's, and it's almost like I'm there. Like I remember the detail. I remember herbs and plant and growing food. I think
herbs and plants. Yes,
I remember that.
Yes,
yeah. And so those things that we remember are more heartfelt, and I think it comforts us. It gives us a kind of compassion for ourselves. And like you said, you remember those aspects, and it brings you comfort. And I believe that past life, it's hard to put in words, but you did a great job how you explain that. And that's exactly what people bring from it, is those types of heartfelt, comforting memories that give them that aha feeling of, okay, I get it. I get me. I understand me now,
Is part of this whole process is for healing? I mean, are you trying to, is there wounds, or is there more to it, to where what you're doing, Rebecca, is certain levels of healing?
Yes. Yeah, it really is. And
Okay.
any different kinds of healings, relationship, self-love, whatever that is, it is a form of healing. I always say it's healing integration. Once we find those pieces of us, our energy pieces that have been maybe disconnected. And so it's integrating, healing, celebrating is how I put it.
And then once you enlighten them, or,
Or they enlighten themselves.
Or they're enlightened themselves, it's probably safe to say that from that moment, their vision moving forward has totally changed, or potentially changed.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, you put on a new pair of glasses at that point.
I've had many people tell me their life has changed, and it's just brought them a different perspective. And I know for my own self, the past life understandings I've had have helped me understand my direction. And but absolutely, yep.
It would be probably like Tiffany. I would after a conversation with Rebecca, I'd be like, damn, Tiffany really is the star of this show.
Okay, Tracy Austin says, I've had past lives as a male in Spain and an Italian farmer. So that's
wonder how she talked in that kind of like,
man.
Can you do Tracy again, Tiffany? Remind me, can you or not?
No, I can't do it. We love you, Tracy.
That'd never get old.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. Yeah, it's not something that I ever thought that I would do, but it was probably a defining moment in my life, because it helped me understand that there are more things to this universe, and there's more things to this brain, this heart, and this body than just the physical form that we are in right now. And the thing that you taught me was that we may have had problems in the past, and we may be having problems now, but what we're trying to do, and this is, I think, the soul's progress in each progression, and in hoping that you can learn from the mistakes that you've made in the past and try to not do them anymore, or try to do better. But do you feel like we as individuals can we all access that information in maybe a state of, say, meditation?
Sure, absolutely. You know, again, it's all openness. It's, you know, allowing yourself to go into a depth level where you can be in, it's like an inner focused state of awareness when you're in regression. So you absolutely can go into a meditative state. I've gone into many meditative states, self-guided. I did this with my master's work. I had to do this. This is some of the processes I had to put myself through. So you can go into inner, you can go put yourself in hypnotic states, and meditation is one avenue.
Tiffany, when was the last time you spent time with Rebecca? Regression from a
From a
her,
a regression state?
a session or whatever.
Because I believe we did one, and I know it was 2014.
Okay,
But
so we're talking. All right.
It's
I'm
well,
going.
I think another. We did a few, so we've done.
Okay.
we did a few, and you know what it did? It helped me process not only the past life, which sort of helped me understand why I made the trip over the ocean and spent so much time there. It was sort of a soul searching moment for me, and I didn't even know. All I knew is that I was meant to be over there, and I wanted to go there my whole life. Didn't really have a plan, and the plan ended up changing 3 days into the trip, and I got the offer for the job with the DoD as a contractor, and I was like, oh, well, I guess this is what I'm supposed to be doing. But maybe that was part of the plan for the ET side of it. And I think that there was a progression from the past into the now. And I think that there was always a reason to go there, and it may have sort of jump started that ET contact aspect for me. I was having, the episodes of missing time on the base. I think I was meant to be there at that time for some specific reason. Right. Being in places of power that were these ancient sites that still had such energy, coursing through the stones, the ground, the olive trees that were thousands and thousands of years old. That I feel like that was all connected, and the connection was made via Rebecca and her skill and her talent and her coaching ability to ease you into a state where you can reach and access your truth. And I feel like that's what we did.
But here's the thing, Tiffany.
That's a good way to put it.
Your experiences have continued heavily since that regression time. Mm-hmm. So that's where I was getting at, is that I knew recently you've not had one with her recently though.
No, we have not had a recent session.
No.
I'm just saying there's you paint a great picture to me every time we do go on this subject on this subject, and we talk offline and you're sharing your stories, and it seems like for the most part you remember these experiences, but it's probably fair to say that there's a lot that you don't remember.
Well, and that's sort of what the plan was for our connection,
I'm talking about between then and now, though.
Yes.
What do you think what in your mindset? What do you think potentially you've forgotten?
I feel like with Rebecca, we made, like I said, we made this sort of list of questions and demands. I wanted to be able to understand what was going on. Rebecca was the mediator. She's the one who said, okay, while you're in this state, your wants, your demands, your requests are these. I want to be able to communicate more freely, openly with my guides or the ETs who come and visit, the entities that come through. And I think that she was able to unlock that hesitant inner voice that says, oh God, it's scary. and get you to a point where you can start having these conscious experiences. And then beyond the conscious part, not have the fear. And that is what Rebecca helped facilitate.
That sounds, yeah. Okay. Now, Rebecca, if you were doing a regression with Tiffany or whoever, has there ever been a time when you're talking to multiple people? You've got Tiffany, but then this
Daphne, her being and Jennifer show up.
No, I'm talking about maybe like in your case, Tiffany, like
they jump.
Or no, I mean somebody that was there with you. I mean, are you tapping into more than
to us or to
yeah? Are
her?
Okay. If you're going back to a moment where Tiffany had this experience with, let's stay with the ET thing. Are you tapping into another entity or something at the same time that was there at that moment? I mean, I'm thinking going to X-Files here, but
no, I like that theme though.
Okay.
No, and it's possible. I look at it in a couple different ways. Especially in a really good example of what you're asking is when we do the quantum healing or even the life between lives. But the quantum healing regression is going into a past life, wherever that is, another planet, another place here. And once we work through that life, then we call in the higher self. So we integrate back into the body and we call upon that wise, that energy that I was talking about earlier, that is our higher self, that goes kind of beyond our body. It kind of sees the bigger picture. It still and understands why we're here and it guides us. And so, like you said, that time you reacted in a way that you don't even remember what you did, but it sounded like it was very heroic. Your higher self knew exactly what to do. So when we go into a regressed state, we can access the higher self in meditation. We can access it when we're just doing some menial task and we're kind of in a trance, cleaning the house. We may have this big moment, this aha. So I think it sounds like what you're asking. So our higher self is, okay, if you can think about the whole oneness, source, the other astral planes, perhaps, our guides, all of those beings can access us through our higher self. And so, yes, I've seen people speaking, answering questions, having a conversation in their higher self. And I can tell if their voice shifts and it's talking in third person, saying, okay, so that's possible. Okay.
That's interesting. Do you get to charge twice the set? What is this a bill? It's double the cost.
No, what
you get to charge twice?
I was taking care of two of you.
Oh no, that's funny. Kevin, I think you should have a regression. You sound like
you know what?
He was Casanova. I know it.
No,
50 Shades of K, people. 50 Shades of K.
Well, you'd have to be open. You'd have to feel like you want to do that. And I was just suggesting it because you're so curious.
I got it. No, I'm very curious. I'm very open-minded, but I'm also one that be careful what you kind of ask for too.
Kevin. Sorry, Kevin. Your mom is Taiwanese, correct?
From Thailand, yeah.
So, Thailand. Okay. Yeah. Do they have a belief that you have multiple lives, or is that something that you grew up with, or your mom grew up with, that would have been sort of in the back of your head growing up?
That's a great question. I've never asked her that. I will maybe at the next family gathering instead of, because of her Thai accent, she still has a very thick accent. Instead of me asking her to say, me love you long time, I get her to ask another question. We still do that to her.
I love that. I love that you do that.
We do. And we still laugh at the same freaking comment every holiday thing. Did her say it, Mom? Me love you long time. You really said that to Dad back in the day because they met during the Vietnam War. And then I'm like, I don't want to know anymore. I don't want to.
She's probably like, "Oh, Kevin, you're so funny."
Yeah. So all right, Tiff, where were we at on time?
I've got a question. Hold on. Hold on. Genghis wants to know. Rebecca mentioned lives from other planets. Curious, can our past lives extend into plants or other types of animals?
It can. I've witnessed people incarnating in plants. That's a really significant amount of casework that Dolores Cannon connected with in her work. I believe there's been a couple episodes where people have been other than human form. Most often it's been an animal. I remember one client, she was a whale. It was actually very beautiful. It was more of a...
She wasn't the whale that swallowed Jonah back in the day, was she? Great story, by the way.
He got spit out. He didn't get hurt.
I didn't say he did. He just, well, you're right. He wasn't, I guess, per se swallowed. Well,
but
it
doesn't happen very often, though. Not in my experience with regressions. But it's happened.
Those Bible stories, they still.
I love the Bible stories. Get out of here. Those stuff. Are great.
Great stories. Yeah.
I tell my kids all the time, they're in Catholic schools and they're like, "Oh, Mom, this is so stupid. I got to go to mass." And I'm like, "Mass is awesome. I mean, it's like a ritual. There's a cult practice. Come on, just enjoy it." And they're like, "You're crazy." I'm like, there's a lot to love about a Catholic mass, especially in Latin, because you have no idea what's going on. It's great.
And those lengthy weddings as well.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
All right, let's start rounding third and heading for home here.
Oh gosh, do I get to do my part?
Well, what we're gonna do? This is how we're kind of gonna play it because we're winging it here, but we're gonna try to figure this out as a group.
Okay.
We're almost at the top of the hour, 10 o'clock hour. Yep. So
people Rebecca, are trying
thanks for hanging with us tonight. Your internet has cooperated for the most part. Yeah,
thank you. Thank you, internet gods.
Yeah, there you go. So last week we introduced a rapid fire segment, which I'm going to actually, in a cheesy way, Tiffany, I'm going to start calling it our round of shots segment, and it is a cheesy plug for another podcast I do. It's a sports podcast called Round of Shots. So.
Yep.
This segment is brought to you by my other podcast, Round of Shots. It is Round of Shots. So in a second or a moment, I'm going to throw some rapid round of shot questions to Rebecca and she can play along. And just like last week, she can't plead the fifth or take the fifth. It's not allowed. You got to answer. But Tiffany, you had a great idea where you wanted to get our friends, our audience involved by you asking some questions specific to the show. So what we'll do is we're going to show these questions. We'll show them. You'll read them. Let the audience or friends digest it. And then I'm going to go back to Rebecca with my list of questions. And then we're going to wrap it up with
the answers from the listeners.
So,
yeah.
All right. Tiffany, do you want to control it? You can take control if you want. Take
absolutely.
The wheel. Show what you got.
Okay, so let's see. Okay, so here's the first question, and this is to our listeners. How many of you have had a past life or felt like you've had a past life? The second question. Where does your soul go in between lives? Okay. Where does your soul go in between lives? And the third question is, can you request to come back as a specific creature, human, or ET? These are the burning questions that have bothered me for ages. So we're going to get some answers from the guests, and the last of the program will be Rebecca's professional opinion on these as we close. Okay, so we'll go back to those in a minute. So you got your questions, people.
Yeah.
And now Kevin is going to do his round of shots. Now, Rebecca, there's not a huge time limit on these, but I will buzz you if you take too long.
Yeah, it's getting late.
Yeah, and I'm not going to share. Take that question off.
Okay.
Yeah. So these are. I'm just going to ask these questions. Rebecca, again, play along. They're fun. Nothing's going to incriminate you. Nothing that no sound. Well, I guess it could be a sound bite, but anyways. All right, Rebecca. First concert you attended?
I'm trying to remember. Fog hat?
You're going to have to butt a fog hat. For real?
Maybe so, yeah.
Slow ride.
Oh, I like that.
I remember that was an awesome.
Take it easy. There you go.
That's one of those songs, once you hear the beginning of it, that drum.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's a great song.
Yeah.
Hey, we need to play it out the compound.
We will.
Oh,
yeah. We're going to,
God, is it like a 20-minute song or something?
We will play it, and we're going to have a few musicians with us that night. So
stay tuned for that.
Yeah.
All right. Next one, karaoke. Yeah. Next one, texting or talking?
That is my preference.
What's your preference?
Gosh, it depends upon the situation. Texting is more convenient, but I do like to talk.
Okay. So. Favorite day of the week?
I like Saturday.
Do you?
Saturday was our last answer. Tracy likes Saturday because she was born on a Saturday.
Yeah.
I was born on Friday, but I like most days, but I like Friday and Saturday.
Yeah. I wonder if anyone will ever say Tuesday is their favorite day / night. Tiffany.
It's my favorite day.
Yeah.
Tuesday is my favorite day, Kevin, because I get to spend it with you.
Oh, you're number two. Number two. Yeah, Dr. Evil's number two, because that would be me.
Is that mini-me?
Brent, no. Remember, it's the guy with the patch.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Brent, that would make Brent Dr. Evil, and then I would be number two.
Yes.
All right. Brent, shout out to my man Brent. All right. Favorite city in the U.S. besides the one you live in?
Favorite city? Gosh. That's a hard one. I do love going to Virginia Beach. I love that. It's not really a big city. And actually, I love going to Madison, Indiana. That's a little place.
Madison, Indiana.
For the regatta? Mm-hmm. What is that? Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't go to the regatta. It's just a nice little town.
All right. Yeah. Okay. This is Tiffany. The next one. I loved your reaction when I asked this one because I could tell you were really, and I'm gonna let you answer it too. First, Rebecca. Rebecca, would you rather be able to speak every language in the world or be able to talk to animals?
I'd rather be able to talk to animals.
Tiffany, what about you?
Seriously.
I want to speak every language in the world.
Really?
I do. I already talk to my animals.
I think that would.
Praying mantis. You and your praying mantis are on a first name basis.
No, I actually have communication established. Like, could actually, talk to an animal and actually understand their needs. But think about how many languages there are.
I would love it. If I could, I would love it. I love languages. I'm sorry. I do.
I think languages are pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
I lived in Germany. I know some German.
Right.
Yeah.
I forgot
And-
about that. Yeah. Okay. So also, Rebecca, what branch of the military were you in?
Oh, I didn't
I
know
was
she
in
was
the
military.
U.S. Army. I was in the Army.
Thank you for your service, love.
Oh,
Aw, thank you.
Okay. All right, next one. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good of a driver are you? Come on, feed into the whole stereotype here.
I'm really excellent driver. I drove on the Autobahn in Germany for 8 years, so
okay, there you
I'm
go.
pretty good.
And she's
have
pretty
to-
fast.
I do have to say that for myself.
She's a very speedy driver and very accurate.
Very, yeah. All right.
You like Mario and Freddy?
Invisibility or a super strength?
What's that?
That is a super strength. Oh,
No, invisibility is not a super strength.
it could be.
Invisibility or super, or I should instead of ace,
Yeah.
invisibility or super strength.
Super.
You want to be able, yeah.
Which one do you want? Super strength?
Yeah, either invisibility or super strength.
Oh, like if you had a superpower, you're asking.
Well,
But you only get those two.
Only those two.
These questions should not be answered with questions.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know. They'd both be fun. Invisibility would be pretty fun.
I think invisibility would be fun. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
If you could travel back in time, what period would you go to?
Wow. Okay. Off the top of my head, I'd like to go back. Gosh, that is a tough one. See, I put too much thought into it. Let's just say I wouldn't mind going back to the time of Shakespeare.
I was just thinking that.
Were you really?
I was thinking Romeo and Juliet is what popped in my head.
Okay.
What was that? 1560s?
Yeah, I don't know. Women weren't treated well back then, though. So I think we're in the best time that we can be in.
Well, maybe you can take your military skills with you and just whoop their ass if they try to bother you.
I guess.
No, they would probably burn her at the stake for.
See, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Kind of, yeah. That's a good one. All right. Give me what's a Rebecca pet peeve?
A pet peeve. It's really funny. A pet peeve of mine. The sheets, my blankets have to be just right. It bugs me if they aren't.
I'm totally with you. Yes.
I can't have get into a bed. So
I'll remember that for contact at the compound if you stay over. I'll iron the sheets.
No. They don't have to be ironed.
Okay.
I don't iron my sheets. They just got to be on. It's like if you get into bed, it's got to be made. Put it that way. It's got to be to where everything is
perfect. Got it. Check.
It doesn't have to be perfect, but it just has to be.
Give me, tell us the last Halloween costume you wore.
I'm cutting out so I don't hear the question. Hold on just a second.
The last Halloween costume you wore.
The last Halloween costume I wore, I believe I was a witch. Yeah, I believe I was a witch and I had my face decorated and
Okay.
Yeah. But not an ugly witch. I wasn't an ugly witch.
No, you were. Was that? I'm hearing getting feedback from me. Can y'all hear me? You hear that echo?
I hear the echo.
Do you? All right, maybe. Okay. Cake or pie?
Pie.
What is your ideal outside temperature? And if you say 90s and humid like it's been for the last month, I'm gonna just
cut her off.
I like 70-degree weather. I love 70-degree weather and low humidity.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you.
Or mid 70s and low humidity is nice too.
Giving presents or getting presents?
I like both. I
It's
like
a
giving and
or.
getting.
She changed it. Giving
I
and
changed
getting. Yeah. You changed it. All right. From
I do
one
love to give.
all right. From 1 to 10, how hot do you like your shower water? 10 being the hottest.
She is married, Kevin, so you don't have to run her a shower.
I would run her a bath.
A bath.
Bathe her and bring her to me.
Amen. With bubbles and essential oils and a bath bomb.
When my grandson's over here, Brennan, he'll take a bubble bath, and he's unfortunately for me, fortunately for him, it's out of habit now. He drinks a chocolate shake during his bath. I have to make it a chocolate shake.
That is the sweetest grandpa ever.
I'm up for the
papa.
award every year.
That's
all right. So we say shower water, Rebecca. 1 versus 10. 10's the hottest.
Oh, probably a 7. I like it pretty warm.
Okay. Do you ask permission or beg for forgiveness?
Do I ask or beg for forgiveness?
I don't think you're a beggar.
No.
No. Neither are you, Tiffany.
I guess I just ask. I don't know. I can't think of a time when I've asked for forgiveness. I may have said, please forgive me if I was. Yeah, I probably do say it like that. Please forgive me. Okay. Please forgive me if I blah, 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 blah. So,
you or after you?
What?
Wait a minute, because do you say, please forgive me if I do this, or please forgive me because I did this?
Because I did.
All right. Okay. What's something you could eat for a straight week?
Well, something I do eat pretty much.
Okay. Which is?
I eat oatmeal.
Oatmeal.
Yeah, she makes killer oatmeal.
Really?
Though. Yes. Stone ground. What? Yeah. No, Irish oats.
Yeah, well, it's the stone cut or steel cut.
Steel cut.
And I put some almond milk, and I put blueberries and strawberries.
Best oatmeal maker ever.
Oh, okay. Maybe you need to bring that in October.
Yeah, for big breakfast.
Yeah, hello. What temperature do you like your thermostat at?
Summer or winter?
Is there a difference?
Yeah.
I mean, I keep mine at 70-ish, low 70s year round. So
it's on 71 now.
Okay. Tiffany, you gave me this one. I think you gave me this one. Toilet paper, over or under? We might end this call right now if you give us the wrong answer.
Over.
Over. Thank you. Thank you. We can proceed. We got a couple. On a scale of 1 to 10, how good are you at keeping secrets? 1 being the worst, 10 being the best.
I know the answer.
10.
Yeah, because it's yeah. All right, my last one for you, Rebecca. What is your happy place besides this podcast?
Say it again because it cut out. I'm sorry.
What is your happy place? Where's your go-to?
Where's my happy place? My happy place. I love taking a walk in the woods.
Okay. There's plenty of woods in that
we
compound.
We live near the woods. Well, I got you.
I got you.
Yeah. I like being in nature.
Look at this, Tiffany. This was Rebecca. She meant to say, as she said, I mean, Rebecca. Don't take too long. Yeah, we did buzz.
We buzzed her because she took too long.
Yeah, this was again. It's supposed to be rapid fire, but we're just having a conversation here.
Yeah.
All right, Tiffany, that concludes my round of shots brought to you by my other podcast, Round of Shots. All right.
Are you paying for that commercial and that plug?
I'm kind of hooking myself up there, I guess you could say.
Oh, do I get a fee for that?
We can just talk about that later.
Are you sure?
But while we're at it,
Oh.
let's go ahead and bring this up.
Okay.
We just put it in an order for shirts, people. We've got some shirts coming. We are working on some swag, merchandise.
It's going down. It's going down.
It's coming.
Yes.
So we've got to do our best to keep promoting us and giving some material things for our friends to partake in and, be loud and proud.
A little conference isn't free, even when it's at your house. So
no, it's not. So, we got to help pay the bills.
I know. Otherwise, I'll have to do a lot more chores around the house, and I am overloaded, people. Overloaded.
Ron, I shouldn't have actually hit this. Ron, just between us, I check my mailbox like once a month. So I'll promise I'll go check it. Ron sent me something. My mailbox is in my physical mailbox at my apartment, the box itself. I only check it once a month because all my bills are online. So there's nothing that I would need in the mail. So
there might be some Kroger coupons.
Which is, by the time I check it, my mailbox is full, and a third of it is Kroger stuff because I do go Krogering quite a bit. So.
Okay.
All right. Time for your questions, Tiffany.
Yes. Okay. So just to recap, question 1, how many of you had past lives? Number 2, where does your soul go in between lives? Number 3, can you request to come back as a specific human, creature, or ET? All right. So let me bring that off.
Show the first question again. Just kind of leave it up and see. Rebecca, stop yawning.
I'm sorry.
That's our cue.
Yeah.
We gotta end. So.
Okay. So let's see.
This is for the audience. So who's watching? Share your answer. How many of you are friends listening?
How many of you have had a past life? I'm not seeing that. Let's see. Are you seeing anybody that said that they have one?
They haven't responded yet. It may be that we're this is the first time, and maybe we got to figure out the right way to do it. All right,
I think you said it better earlier. How many feel like you've had a past life? Because sometimes we often sense those things. So
yes, here's one. American Road Warrior says, like, no one sends you into a life, you choose to go there. So maybe that's part of that.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Sherry had a comment of something about deja vu. You see that, Tiff?
Yeah. Sherry Trimble says, I've had too many deja vus to think or to not think I had a past life. I would love to be able to request to come back as an animal, but I don't think we get to choose. I think soul moves instantly from one, I guess, to another. Do you have a comment on that one?
On deja vu?
Yeah. Do you have any ideas on that one?
A lot of people, I feel like, and I think what deja vu is something that seems very familiar, like we've thought it before. It's happened before because we probably had an intuitive thought or some type of clairvoyance thought, and we forgot. We often we go from the subconscious to the conscious state. We forget stuff all the time. So I think that's what deja vu is. As far as our souls going into a human versus an animal, I really don't know. I really can't say. I think
you haven't talked to too many animals lately.
No, and I think people I do think we have free will, but I think our primary focus is on the human soul. I don't know, an animal soul. I really don't know. That's something I haven't delved into a lot. I do feel that souls, animals definitely have souls, but maybe they're already very highly evolved. They don't create karma. They don't, they are just them. They don't create karma, if you think about it. So
now, Tiffany, in fairness to your question, because you asked the question. So we got to play along. Here's an answer. Not me from Bobby. Here's
Bobby
an answer.
says no. Don't know.
No.
Okay.
And then Ron.
None that I know of.
All right. That's fair too.
Hey, it's all good. All good.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's see. And Kevin, you said you don't feel like you've ever had a past life?
I mean, I'm open to it. I do believe in a past
Some
life.
people
I just
don't think much about it. Huh.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure the one I'm
This one.
freaking in right now. But you know what? As long as I continue with present company, Tiffany, it's all that matters.
Yeah, amen to that. Okay. Where does your soul go in between lives? So let's see if we see anything on that. I know that Ron said for number 2, he thinks you go back to the vault. Back to the vault. So we go back in the cryo chamber, or, just would that be purgatory? Would that be in the waiting in between?
Show me his answer again.
Back to the vault. Number 2, back to the vault.
What's that mean? Number 1, number 2.
The answer to number 1 was no. The answer to number 2 is back to the vault. So I'm wondering, where does your soul go in between lives? Back to the vault. What do you think of a that's a good sort of question. I hadn't even thought about that.
Usually
okay, so a spiritual realm.
And we call spiritual realm people can call it whatever they want, because we as humans have to put labels and everything. But, we call them astral realm. Some people call it heaven. Some people, there's different names for the non-physical space. So when our souls are not occupying a body, of course, I guess we could go somewhere else and be in some other type of physical space. But from what my understanding is, we actually work in the non-physical realm. We carry on our learning and perhaps even teaching, and maybe do healing work. Maybe we are deciding our next incarnation, or so those are just possibilities.
And Sherry said that she believes that you go from one life to another.
Yeah, you can.
Okay, let's see what else. What about this? Maybe that's the multi-dimensional thing, the in-between. Do you think that's?
Yeah, I mean that can be if that's the another name for it. Yeah, a multi-dimensional. Yeah.
Okay, and then Genghis wants to know. Yeah, maybe he was thinking purgatory as well, the in-between. We talk about some of the pop culture that we are being exposed to right now. And one of the big shows in the past few years was the Stranger Things on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
And they talk about it as the upside down is the sort of strange dimension that they're being brought into and being exposed to. So the upside down is the Stranger Things version of maybe a purgatory, maybe a place where people's souls just sort of get lost.
Possible.
I think I have a furnished soul for rent, if anybody wants one.
Okay.
Furnished soul for rent.
Furnished. It is furnished. Yeah. You got to take the baggage that comes with it.
Okay, right. So we've got a question that goes along with sort of the soul thing. Rebecca, I'm going to ask you this. Think of when God put Adam's soul in him. Where did the soul come from? Where do you think the souls came from for the first group of human beings?
That's not the first group of humans.
Well, supposedly Adam and Eve were the first.
I know. Back to that
beings,
book.
Blah blah blah. Hey, it's a storyline that most of us are familiar with. So let's go with that for a moment.
I don't know.
His name wasn't Adam. What do you want to say? First human soul. Where did it come from?
Well, the first human soul Well, I believe God wanted to be creative and have an expression of the energy that he, she, it has, whatever you want to call
Mhm.
God.
Mhm.
And that expression came into the earth plane and came into form. Now, according to Edgar Casey, we fell from, I guess, God, the spiritual realm, when we chose to want to have experiences in the earth. So I think there's some different, yeah, Rebecca is getting tired.
Like a different theologies
You saw that.
going on.
Yeah, there is. There is.
Okay.
There's a lot of different theologies going on.
Okay.
So, myself, I don't know. I don't think there's any one way to answer it. I think it's something that comes from each of us. And is it important? I guess so.
Mm.
Understand the beginning. Maybe it's all part of the Big Bang,
Mhm.
So.
Okay, so the last question was, can you request to come back as a specific creature or human or ET? And I didn't really get any comments on that, but I think that when it comes to my belief, I think that the progression that I've had, that I've realized, has been human, human, human. But then again, we do have this contact that I'm experiencing, and I think that a lot of people are opening up to this bizarre world that we're now realizing is a part of a human nature, not just the soul, not just the physical, but that there's other beings out there who are able to contact us. So I'm wondering, do you feel like maybe we can? I think we touched on it earlier about maybe visiting with different ETs. Do you feel that we can choose to move on? Our soul can move on to even a different dimension, a different planetary system, a different type of entity?
I think it's very possible. I mean, we do have free will. And I believe if we are in accord with, I think if we have, I don't know, certain type of energy and we have a certain type of agreement with source or with the universal consciousness, I believe anything's possible.
You say we have free will, but I can't help but to think that someone's pulling the strings here when it comes
That's what a
to,
lot of people. I think a lot of people
souls
feel that
moving
way.
here and there.
Do you think that's a new development, though?
What's that? Free will?
No, the idea that there's somebody else controlling the situation, being the puppet master.
I mean,
Well,
the argument is God, right?
Right. And I think that's what people view God as a human form. Humans often take God and make it in their reflection when it's really supposed to be the other way around. So I don't know. I mean, I think people feel they have no control of their lives. So that concept is hard, I think, sometimes.
There's my other nickname, Tiffany. Just saying.
Puppet master.
Thank you, Sherry. Rebecca, I got to ask, what time do you got to get up in the morning? That was one about. Oh, is she frozen or no? She's not.
Yeah,
that was number 21 of my questions. You got to go. We do have to wrap up. We did start late. That's a problem. We're almost.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Rebecca's been great, and I sent the private message to Tiffany.
I just told Maria she can't. She's not done.
What?
She's coming back.
Yeah, she's coming back. Yeah. Great show tonight, Tiffany.
Yeah.
I mean, this is one, and I have to, as much as I love the whole UFO, UAP narrative that we talk about quite a bit, to be honest, it was starting to get a little fatigued with it. So this was a nice break from that.
And
so we did kind of incorporate some ET angle, but not like the other shows.
But I think that, having Rebecca as a special guest for Contact at the Compound, it's going to add that spiritual unlocking of the human psyche. I think that we're going to be able to incorporate that into our experience, and I think it's going to be wonderful. And I'm really blessed to call you a friend. Kevin and I are very thankful that you were able to come on with us and share your passion for this field, and I appreciate all of the hard work and dedication that you are providing the support to so many people who need it. And as we have come to discuss a lot on the show, we like to advocate for the experiencers and let them know that there are people out here who can help you with your trauma, with your missing time episodes, and seek out a person like Rebecca. If you can, we'll add her link to the show, but
it's in the description.
Like I said, she was associated with the UFO community and does a lot of work with abductees and people who are experiencing sightings and coping with those aspects. And I will tell you, this woman has been a very big benefit to me personally and spiritually in my life, and has helped me get to the point where I'm comfortable with those activities and helping to understand them, and helping me to understand that I'm not crazy, that these things do happen and they are happening to people all over the world, just like you. And Rebecca, leave us with how to find you and any closing message that you would like to share.
No, that's perfect, Tiffany. And a lot of people just sometimes need to talk to someone to be heard and to say, hey, I hope you don't think I'm crazy. I've heard that so many times. And if someone comes to see me, I absolutely tell them, no way. I've talked with many. So I can be reached. My email's lifesouljourney, 3 words, @gmail.com. You can call me, 502-468-1894 is my phone. Email or call is probably the best.
We'll share this if y'all can see it. Okay. Yeah. You see that? This is your webpage.
Right. There you go. Integrative Mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. .net. Yeah. So integrativemind.net. There's a contact page. You can also look over my website and see all the services and things like that. But thank you for having me on. It's been a lot of fun. You guys are great. And I love getting to know Kevin more. So we'll see in October.
Yeah. I may give you 20 minutes of my time, but I'm going to have a wingman next to me, Tiffany. I don't know who it would be. So as soon as he hears something that he knows that I don't want to talk anymore, he's going to throw water on my face. Rebecca, though. This is one of those.
It might have to be Brent with a squirt bottle and just like.
Rebecca, I could, just you've got a gift, and I, listen and kind of watch from a distance and hear your story, and I'm very intrigued. And maybe down the line, you and I can have a moment, and you can maybe set me free of some things that's probably been noodling in the back of my head that I need to get out.
Sure. So, yeah, absolutely.
4 easy flex payments and I got you
$5,000 a piece.
Yeah.
All right, Rebecca, you're the best. Good to see you. We'll
love you guys.
Definitely see you again in October.
Absolutely.
Right. Okay. All right. We'll let Rebecca go. Tiffany, we'll wrap up.
Okay.
All right. Good night. Love you all.
Love you all.
She's the sweetest.
She's the absolute best.
Yeah, she's best. So yeah, tonight again, different from our UFO themed shows, and started off a little, some technical issues, but the audience, our friends, played along, and we'll get the questions and stuff. I do like that's the segment where we can ask the questions, and maybe we got to structure it in a way where
I'll just check off a few of those
yeah,
questions.
something like that. I don't know. I mean,
limit it.
you figure it out. But yeah, we definitely want to hear who are our friends in the chat, what they have to say on something. And so another show, Tiffany, we got next week Christina Gomez, who is part of the Debrief. She's one of those young up and comer podcasters in this whole UFO scene. I mean, she's had Jimmy Church on live several times the last week. Okay, throw that in our face.
Exactly.
But we're gonna get Jimmy on. Stay tuned.
We don't have a budget for that yet.
Yes, we do.
Oh, sorry.
Yes, we do. It's you asking the question and them not being able to say no.
Well, I've heard no a few times, right?
Well, that's because you didn't get your chores done. And Brent's
do you know
what
the no really sounds like? It's like, no, please don't leave me. That's the kind of hear. No, I hear you.
I think I said that in late 2016, right?
Yeah. Leave me. No, please don't leave. That's usually Kevin's response when we have to take a break, people.
Right. But we haven't had breaks lately. And I've been a good boy.
That's because I have to do
break because you had a family thing.
I had to do my chores, you know.
Do your chores. And I respect Brent enough to, I know I should be asking him every Tuesday, can she do her podcast tonight? Because did her chores get done? So
somebody please remind me that I'm a big girl and I've got my will of my own. And
we're almost done. And before you, I feel compelled to say, and I do want to bring this up because one, this event we've got in October, Contact at the Compound, you have put a lot of work and effort into making this happen. This has really been your baby. I've been in support mode once the live streaming part goes, the production part, that's when I'll kind of take the keys and the wheel. But is this going to be for us? It's going to be kind of a big deal, definitely for us. And I think it's safe to say that you can, mainly because we know of airfares that have already been purchased, we know of a specific guest list. Share as we're in the show for people still watching, because there might be a few of these people that might make it to the event. It's private, but it will be private amongst us friends. But who do we have confirmed?
We have Sierra Neblina. She's coming in.
She's an experiencer.
Yes.
Hybridization program.
Yes. You've probably heard her on our show and many others. She was also on the documentary Extraordinary: The Seeding. She is going to be here 2 nights early. Let's just say that she's really excited.
People are flying in from out of state.
Yes. And then, she's coming in from Colorado. And then Terry Lovelace is coming from Texas.
I cannot wait to hang with that cat.
I know. And then we have Micah Hanks from the Graylian Report. Well, it's not even the Graylian Report. It's the Micah Hanks Show. And the Debrief. And lots of other places. So he's going to bless us with his presence. And we've got, like I said, possibly Tom Reed. Yes. And we are really excited about a few of our local friends as well. Jamin Olivencier, which is it WWE champion?
He had a nice run. He was part of WWE. He's a former pro wrestler, but he's a life coach and an experienced
experiencer.
And he's just a beautiful guy. I mean, he
is. Yeah. He's a fantastic soul and a lovely person. And then we have, of course, a few girls from our CE5 group who are going to be coming in and offering their expertise.
Rebecca will be one as well. So
yeah.
We're the details are starting to really take shape. You've done such a kick-ass job in getting the people from out of town, giving them the availability to come here, to stay here. It's going to be an event. We're live streaming. We're still putting the finishing touches on it.
And we're making swag for it, people. We're going to have things to offer up.
Shirts. We've got
blankets.
We've got drinking. What do you call those?
Mugs or water bottles.
Kind of like these.
Tumblers.
With design. Yeah, tumblers. I said.
Tumblers. Yeah.
So we're
excited. And this is, last year was the first. This is the second. You know what? Last year was 2020. This is 2021. And maybe we can just continue it on and just start in 2.0, 2.1, 2.2. I don't know.
Getting excited. There's for the record, people watching and listening with us, whatever this show is, wherever it goes, that Tiffany and I are committed to doing it and keep doing it as long as we're having fun. We've got people that are listening and interacting with us.
I don't even know if we have to have listeners. I just enjoy being here with you and sharing our great stories.
Yeah. And next time, if that's the case, then I'll just come over with edibles and whatever. But yeah, I actually need I need another visit to the compound sooner than later. It's always good hanging out on the porch.
Okay.
But,
no drugs on the property. Sorry about your luck.
Yeah.
No edibles.
All right. Good stuff tonight. I'm going to rattle off a bunch of names. We had Maria, Sherry, Bobby, Tracy, Austin, Andy, Ron, Genghis. Was Yuffie on tonight? Is she been on vacation? I don't remember seeing her name.
I think she's in another dimension right now. Yeah. She's
Greg O'Brien. American Road Warrior. Queen Colleen was there. Beuchel was on. Gavin was on. These early ones. We're usually longer than expected. It's 10:41. We did not. We definitely got started late. So, this is one of those shows, Tiffany, where it does make you think. It takes us out. I'll speak for me. It takes me out of the whole UFO thing is my comfort zone. It's my go-to. And when we talk about shows like this, I do my homework to try to engage in these conversations. And it's fascinating stuff. It really is. I mean, it's just the notion that you can somehow tap into someone's mind or soul and bring the past out, something that they've experienced or whatever. It's like, I would volunteer. I would like to know. I would like to know a little about me. So maybe, I don't know if that needs to be recorded or not, but yeah.
Well, the good thing is that she's not suggestive and she records everything. So you've got a way to look back at it and know that you weren't tampered with. I always worried about how a hypnotherapy session would go if the person was not responsible and just decided to screw with my head, screw around with my noodle. And I didn't like that, but I felt a difference in Rebecca that was very calm and collected and very mellow, like American Road Warrior said, just a mellow nature, very sweet, loving, and that's what you need in a person who is going to treat you for your questionable activities, what's going on, and you don't understand it. So that's awesome. Bobby.
Queen Tiffany.
I guess I'm the princess because my mama is the queen, Queen Colleen.
Yeah. So good show tonight, Tiff.
See, it's time to shut down. You're already like, where am I?
Giggling. Yeah. So thank you, audience, for hanging with us. Let's just say, Ron, you need to have the right connection. I'm not sure what the connection is. Okay. Ron with ERT Radio and doing the audio, we appreciate it. Hopefully that streaming was working and all that good stuff. So again, Tiffany, Christina Gomez next week. We scheduled out for the rest of the month. We've got some guests lined up for. Oh, you've got one. I have to say, to me, this is a huge get for me. Kathleen Martin at the end of September, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we got a ways. Yeah, we got a ways. Mm-hmm. But that whole Barney and Betty Hill story, and she's really been in a lot of the these documentaries lately. Which, by the way, Netflix dropped a UFO documentary. Showtime just dropped a UFO documentary. It's ad nauseum that there are all these streaming services putting these out. The smart thing is that they should be putting them out because
what do you think says that? What do you think that says?
It's from a business standpoint, it's controversy. It is a form of controversy. It sells. I mean, if you do it in a different, not the same narrative that everyone is doing it, people will watch it. And I'm digressing a little bit here. We had Rich Giordano on a few months ago, and he's one of those guys who has a decent audience, a decent following. But he's been very critical of the Lou Elizondos and Jeremy Corbell's, from a potential fake thing. I mean, this whole UFO report narrative, it's one side or the other. They think either you're full of shit or you're lying or there's something to it. There's no gray area. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, the way the next several months after this June report plays out, I think it's going to keep getting interesting. I don't think we're going to get the answers anytime soon. So these podcasts will remain, and we'll continue to have guests that come on and help hold our hand through, this thing called life.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I do. There was I am on the TikTok trend as well, but there was a post that says that this character says that he is a time traveler from the year 2759 or whatever it is. So one of his
on Amazon or something,
TikTok. I don't know.
I'll take that.
So I scroll through stuff and, wasting time is what my husband calls it, but it's like, aimless and momentary fun. But it said, the year 2025, the first Najik war begins, an alien versus human war in space. Humans barely win, but at a large cost. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. And maybe we will all have a moment where we can think about whether that would be a potential. Is that something that they're trying to prepare us for? Is this alien invasion, now that they've said the UFOs are here? Is that what they're going to try to either make us believe, that there's some kind of potential attack on us from an alien species? Or are we to believe, like Stephen Greer, that they are not here to, take us over, that there are good people involved with some federation that are trying to keep everything in check and keep the balance in check? So we'll leave you with that.
That it's a narrative that's going to keep going on until, I guess, the real truth comes out. So, but I do think the real truth does get out in our lifetime. So stay tuned.
It's here. It's coming.
It's here. All right. For Tiffany Mack, Kevin Hale, our wonderful, beautiful friends in the chat room, Tonight was fun, Tiffany. And we are going to shut it down. It's getting almost 11 o'clock. All right, guys. Universal Secrets, wishing everyone a great night. I gotta do the little 2 words of that. I got to show it. So for people who don't need or not following us and should follow us, take a picture of this QR code. This will take you to all the links. That will be Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, our podcast links, the where you can find the podcast, the links like Spotify, Apple, Google, iHeart, everything. And if you want to see what Tiffany and I really look like after we take our makeup off, there you go. You still have your red lips. Yeah. There you go.
There you go. I gotta get in the middle. There you go. Stop being such a dork. Okay, it's time to shut it down.
There, Tiffany. Warning. I'm the lost in Rose.
Oh God, Kevin, did you already take your Ambien?
Not yet, but I'm going to. All right, guys, we love everyone. Love you all. Long time, as my mom would say. We are shutting it down, and we will be back next Tuesday. Tiffany, peace out, my friend. Good night.
Good night.
This has been Universal Secrets.